They never come with swords. They come with smiles. They shake your hand, call you brother, raise their glass in your name. And all the while, they measure your crown and calculate your fall. Machiavelli never feared the visible enemy. He feared the one who stood too close, the one who praised too often, the one who called himself a friend, but studied you like a rival. In the game of power, your greatest threat is never at the gates. It is inside the room, silent, observing, imitating, waiting. This is not paranoia. This is strategy. You don't protect your throne by fighting everyone. You protect it by recognizing the enemy before he strikes, by understanding the motives behind the mask, and by removing the threat before it becomes a storm. In this video, we uncover Machiavelli's timeless strategy to identify, expose, and cut off the silent enemies who weaken your rule. Not with force, but with favor. Because in the art of power, silence is not peace. It is a tactic. Inspired by Machiavelli's political psychology of inner threats in courts of power, betrayal rarely knocks. It enters quietly, through open doors, familiar voices, and warm greetings. It drinks from your cup, laughs at your jokes, and sits beside you, not across from you. And this is why most rulers fall. Not because they are weak, but because they are deceived. Proximity is the most seductive disguise loyalty can wear. You share your victories with them. They share your failures with others. Machiavelli warned us, the most dangerous enemy is not the one who marches toward your gates with an army. It is the one who walks behind you in silence, close enough to whisper and close enough to strike. Too many men assume that those who stand beside them are on their side. They confuse closeness with commitment and presence with protection. But a man can stand next to you for years and never serve your cause. The truth is harsh. Many remain near you not because they believe in you, but because they benefit from you. They stay close to study your weaknesses, to anticipate your next move, to gather the tools they need to either replace you or watch you fall when you no longer serve their rise. This is not cynicism. This is political clarity. The flatterer, the imitator, the opportunist. Each wears the garment of a loyal friend. Each speaks in your language. Each tells you what you want to hear. But none of them are loyal to your throne. They are loyal only to their proximity to it. You must learn to distinguish presence from purpose. Ask yourself, would this person stay if the rewards vanished? Do they defend me when I am absent? Do they offer truth when I am wrong, or comfort when I am right? A loyal only risks your anger to protect your legacy. A silent enemy avoids your wrath to protect his access. Distance does not always mean disloyalty, and closeness does not always mean trust. Do not base your inner circle on comfort. Base it on contribution. Loyalty is not how someone makes you feel. It is how someone acts when you are not watching. The modern Machiavellian mind must be sharp enough to question intimacy, to audit loyalty like gold, to challenge even praise when it feels too perfect. Protect your throne by understanding this law. Those who are closest are not always committed, and those who are committed are not always close. Give access to those who have proven usefulness, not affection, not history, not sentiment. Because if your empire is to endure, You must rule not with the heart, but with the mind. And your throne must never depend on those who need your light to avoid their own shadows. Cut softly. Observe constantly. Trust rarely. And never mistake the familiar hand for the faithful one. From admiration to ambition. The silent rise of the rival, every throne casts a shadow. And within that shadow, there are always those who learn, not to follow, but to duplicate. Machiavelli understood this, with brutal clarity. Not all who praise you admire you. Some are rehearsing your downfall. In the theater of power, imitation is rarely innocent. It is often a strategy of infiltration. The flatterer tells you what you want to hear, but the imitator shows you what you want to see, until he becomes what others prefer to follow. He dresses like you, speaks like you, adopts your beliefs, your mannerisms, even your allies. But behind the curtain of similarity lies a quiet conquesting. The ambition to replace you by becoming you. This is the psychology of rivalry hidden beneath reflection. He doesn't fight you directly. That would expose his intentions. Instead, he builds his strength through mimicry. He learns your methods, studies your rhythm, borrows your credibility. And while you welcome him as a friend, he is drafting the blueprint for your eclipse. Machiavelli warned rulers: do not trust those who mirror your every move. Their loyalty is not to you, but to the power you represent. The danger is subtle. It doesn't arrive with betrayal. It arrives with flattery. When someone begins to reflect your light too perfectly, be cautious. They may be preparing to cast you into shadow. True allies grow beside you. False ones grow beneath you, until the moment they believe they can grow beyond you. Do not fear competition, but recognize the difference between a student and a rival. The student learns to improve himself. The rival learns to dismantle you. And when you allow such a person too close, when you feed his ego, share your playbook, endorse his rise, you are building your own replacement. This is not to say you must isolate yourself from all learners. A wise leader mentors, but he guards the core of his craft. He teaches principles, not secrets. He inspires growth, but does not tolerate appropriation. The throne must never be duplicated. It must remain singular, because power, once copied, is power divided. So ask yourself, who is watching you too closely? Who repeats your language, not to honor you, but to adopt your identity? Who do others begin to confuse with you? When the lines blur, power is diluted. And Machiavelli would advising, separate from the imitator before others begin to believe there is no difference, because by then it is too late. He has become familiar, while you have become replaceable. Watch not only what they say, watch what they copy. And when imitation crosses into competition, withdraw your trust. Your influence is not a costume to be borrowed. It is a crown that must remain uniquely yours. And any hand that reaches for it, silently or slowly, must be treated not as a friend, but as a future threat. The elegant finality of strategic elimination, in the art of power. There is no room for noise in correction. A weak ruler exposes betrayal with emotion. A wise one removes betrayal with precision and silence. Machiavelli never glorified cruelty. He dissected it. He understood that when a threat reveals itself, it must be neutralized, not discussed. No announcement, No public denouncement. No opportunity for the enemy to plead his case. Why? Because justification is a gift. It gives the betrayer a platform. It gives the crowd a chance to question your authority. And it gives doubt a place to grow. Instead, you cut. You sever. You vanish. Machiavelli wrote, "Injuries must be inflicted once and for all." This was not about vengeance. It was about control. When a figure within your circle betrays your trust, shows duplicity, or begins to threaten the sanctity of your influence, the most powerful action is not confrontation. It is disappearance. You do not explain your silence. You do not warn them. You do not seek closure. Closure is for equals. Betrayal forfeits the right to dialogue. To argue with the traitor is to lower yourself. To plead with the dishonest is to dignify their deceit. You remove them like a surgeon removes a tumor. Quietly, efficiently, with finality. No second chances. No slow goodbyes.
No room for what if?
Because weakness festers when we delay the inevitable. And power decays when we hesitate to sever what has already decayed. The crowd may wonder. Let them. Let your silence create a myth stronger than any excuse. When you remove someone without spectacle, you send a message far more terrifying than a public shaming, that you are watching, that you are decisive, and that you do not need noise to command respect. This is the psychology of fear blended with dignity. It is not violence. It is sovereignty. It is not aggression. It is judgment. When your court sees that betrayal leads not to drama, but to exile, they reconsider every impulse to deceive. Because the ruler who cuts quietly, cuts deeply. And the one who cuts completely, never needs to cut twice. This is Machiavellian clarity. When a person becomes a threat to your vision, or values, or your control, you do not react. You remove. And in that removal, you maintain what most rulers lose in the chaos of conflict: composure, mystery, dominance. Ask yourself, who in your circle has already crossed a boundary, but remains protected by history? Who do you keep tolerating, simply to avoid discomfort? And how many more days will you carry dead weight, hoping it revives? Stop hoping. Start ruling. Your power is preserved not through endless negotiation, but through the discipline of subtraction. Cut softly. Cut suddenly. Cut completely. And never turn back. The unseen kingdom of inner rule. Before there is a crown, there is a mindset. Before the throne is built, it is earned within. Machiavelli understood this fundamental truthing: no man rules others who cannot first rule himself. True power is not born from gold, armies, or applause. It emerges from internal order, a discipline of thought, emotion, and will. A man who is governed by mood cannot govern a kingdom, and a ruler who needs validation is already dethroned. In The Prince, Machiavelli emphasized virtue, not in the moral sense, but in the sense of command, clarity, and control. It is the invisible armor that shields the leader from chaos, manipulation, and emotional sabotage. Let the others rage, react, explain, beg, and defend. You must do none of these. Because the more reactive you are, the more exposed your power becomes. Understand this. Your throne is not the chair you sit in. It is your ability to remain unmoved while others fall into noise. The mind is the citadel, and if that fortress is penetrated by insecurity, by doubt, by desperation, then your outer command means nothing. The enemy may never attack your castle. He only needs to poke your pride. He doesn't need to outthink you. He only needs to make you lose your temper. Because once you lose control of yourself, you've already lost control of the room. Machiavelli's ideal leader was not merely strategic. He was emotionally bulletproof. He knew when to speak, and more importantly, when not to. He knew how to respond with silence, with stillness, with discipline. Not because he was weak, but because he was untouchable. What makes a ruler feared without cruelty, and respected without performance, is composure. When you cannot be triggered, you cannot be manipulated. And when you cannot be manipulated, you become dangerous. Ask yourself, do you respond to every challenge as if it's personal? Do you allow envy, insults, or betrayal to disturb your peace? Or do you remain centered, observing, executing? This is the throne that cannot be overthrown. Because empires collapse from the inside before they ever fall from the outside. And a leader who leaks emotion in public is already bleeding influence in private. You must learn to sit still in storms, to carry silence like a sword, to use restraint as a form of psychological warfare. Let others declare war in their emotions. You declare dominance through your absence of reaction. Your power lies in what you don't say, in what you don't need to explain. The mind is the first kingdom. Master it, and all others fall in line. So the next time someone questions your worth, when a rival mocks you, or a traitor betrays you, ask yourself not how to respond, but whether response is necessary at all. Because sometimes, the most feared figure in the room is the one who doesn't need to speak at all. True power is not popular. It is protected. The world praises numbers. It counts followers. It celebrates crowds. But Machiavelli did not trust multitudes. He studied them. And in every kingdom he observed, he found the same truth. The greater the crowd around the throne, the weaker the throne becomes. Why? Because crowds dilute clarity. They blur loyalty. They bring noise where there must be silence. They create confusion where you require precision. In a crowd, everyone speaks. Everyone expects access. Everyone assumes they are part of your confidence. But only a few deserve to stand within your circle. Power is not built in popularity. It is preserved in privacy. Machiavelli's ruler does not entertain the masses. He selects the useful, the proven, the disciplined. He surrounds himself not with applause, but with alignment. Ask yourself, who in your life contributes, and who simply clings? Who brings value, and who demands attention? Who sharpens your strategy, and who drains your energy? If they are not sharpening your vision, they are dulling your edge. This is not arrogance. This is protection. Because in every crowd, there are flatterers. Those who echo your thoughts not because they believe in you, but because they hope to be remembered. There are imitators. Those who cling to your success in hopes of stealing your light. And there are opportunists. Those who remain loyal only until the weather changes. The crowd sees your power as entertainment. The circle respects it as structure. So build your circle. Cut the crowd. This does not mean isolation. It means calibrated inclusion. You do not need many. You need a few who are loyal when it's dark, honest when it's inconvenient, and strategic when it matters. Your circle must be tested, sharpened by conflict, filtered by time, and guarded with discipline. Machiavelli would have told Yug, a prince must learn to choose the capable over the comfortable. Sentiment weakens sovereignty. History is not proof of usefulness. If someone once helped you but now hinders you, they belong in the past, not in the palace. Do not explain your choices. Your success will validate your silence. When your inner circle is clean, your mind is clear. And when your mind is clear, your rule is unshakable. Crowds demand performance. Circles demand presence. Crowds vanish when the music stops. Circles remain when the fortress is under siege. Choose the few. Empower the loyal. Remove the rest. And remember, your circle is not for decoration. It is your first line of defense. It is your counsel, your mirror, your armor. Let the crowd cheer. Let them speculate. But keep your true strategy protected, inside the circle and far from the noise. Power is not preserved through performance. It is preserved through precision. Not everyone who stands beside you serves you. Not everyone who imitates you respects you. Not everyone who smiles at you believes in you. And not everyone who remains silent is harmless. This is the reality of power. And Machiavelli never asked you to fear it. He asked you to understand it. The throne you protect is not made of gold. It is forged in discipline, guarded by silence, and sustained through strategic clarity. You do not protect your throne by reacting to every enemy. You protect it by learning to see them before they act. To recognize betrayal disguised as friendship. To identify rivals hidden in admiration. To cut not loudly, but completely. This is not cruelty. This is sovereignty. Because a ruler who cannot remove a threat will eventually be replaced by one who can. So refine your presence. Rule your emotions. Limit your access. Cut the disloyal without hesitation or spectacle. And above all, surround yourself not with crowds, but with a circle worthy of your crown. True power is not loud. It is deliberate, unshakable, and cold when necessary. This is the Machiavellian law of leadership, not a strategy of dominance, but of intelligent survival. Not about showing force, but about becoming untouchable. You don't need to explain. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't even need to be seen often. You need only to exist correctly. Because when you do, the world adjusts, the silence deepens, and the throne remains yours.